Didn't mean to get that close.
Alright guys, we're just going to do a little test run with the Rustler. We're not going to hit it hard because it's too pretty and it's for sale. So we're just going to run it around on 2S, no 3S, no big speed runs, hopefully no crashes. So let's see what she's got. Anyway, she's ready for a new home. Okay guys, have a look, man. That thing is ready for a new home. It could be my home, except that my home's already a bit overcrowded with RC cars, and this one doesn't really fill a void that I'm missing in my collection. This thing is back under the knife. We replaced the electronics in it to get the electronics that were in it back to the OG, and I was gonna do a running video, and there's issues. I noticed it while I was working on it, but I kept my mouth shut because I thought, hey, more content. More content's always a good thing when you got a YouTube channel. Let's see, we're going to come in real close. This rear shock is not bad. It takes a little bit, but it extends out all the way. It's a little stiffer than I think I'd like for it to be, but you know, it is what it is. This one, on the other hand, watch what happens when I move my thumb. See how slowly that goes out? And you ready for the real party piece? It doesn't even go out all the way. I'll show you that again. The spring is not strong enough to extend it all the way. So we're going to take this one apart, and we're going to have to find out why it's binding and causing issues. So I'm going to do that. The new ESC I got came with an XT60 connection, which is great. That is a super good connection. That is what all my racing stuff is going to have on it. The problem is all my 3S batteries have a TRX. So I took a TRX off of one of my XL5s. If I use the XL5 again, it'll probably be in a oval track car, probably a Mud Boss. So I'll change it out to an XT60 because it'll be a race car. So I got this available. We'll solder it on here, and we'll have 3S capability back in the car. And there was one other little problem I noticed with it. I may have to pull a front wheel off to show it to you. Got a wheel wrench here. Let's spin the car around, pull off one of the front wheels. Okay. Now let's spin that back around, and it's the same on both sides. The aluminum that's up here looks great, but it's got a ton of slop in it. And that changes wheelbase and camber and all sorts of things as it tries to turn. This is not going to help the handling at all, and the handling on this thing has been bad. So I went to my local Traxxas retailer, Three Rivers Marine, and they had steering knuckles. They've got all the parts to upgrade it back to the original plastic, so that's what we're going to do to that. I've got some factory Traxxas shock oil left from when I bought shocks sometime or another that we're going to refill these shocks with, and we're going to change that from an XT60 to a TRX so we can run it on 3S, and we'll put that out on the track. I'll show it to you with it all done, and then we'll take it out and run it on the streets and see what we got, see if the handling's a little better. In the past, when I would turn, the rear wheel would come up off the ground and it had a bad tendency to traction roll, which I know that's going to happen some because it's a high center of gravity chassis. That may change in the future, but for right now, this is what we got. So anyway, that's where we are with it. We're going to fix this one up and then go test it out. All right, guys, here we are. Fixing to give this thing a little test. It's got a 2S battery in it right now. And if you'll remember, we got to do things backwards with this car. So, first thing I do is reach in here and turn the car on. The car is on. And we turn on the controller. Let's see how she runs on 2S. Alright, the changes we made to the shocks and the front end are definitely helping because it is handling way better. Alright, I finally got it to turn over, but it took a lot more effort than it has in the past. Good for a little bit here. Guys, at least so far, the only complaint I've got with this little Chinese motor ESC combo is that the program card they sent with it has no way to connect. And it it makes you do everything backwards because of that. But it's got plenty of speed. I think it's as we expected with that slightly shorter can. It's lost a little bit of straight off the line torque, but the top speed is much better. Here we are with the real test. A fully charged 3S battery. Guys, that thing is fast. Uh-oh, sounds like my pinion gear came loose. But, dadgum, this thing's fast. We'll have to fix it and come out here and break it again. All right, guys, we blew something up when we ran it earlier. Let's see if we can figure out what it is. Okay, let's get this back wheel out of the way so we can see. I'm on a Facebook page. It's two-wheel drive / only. And every time somebody comes up with a similar situation to this, there's 10 posts that say, "Oh, you shared a pin in the transmission." Let's start simple. Okay, evidently this is a pretty common problem with anything 10th scale and Traxxas. I think it's because we're using plastic 48 pitch gears and hitting them with pretty powerful motors. Let's just see. What do we have inside the gear cover? We got a pinion that walked off. All I have to do is put that pinion back on and tighten up the grub screw with a little more Loctite than I used last time, and it's fixed. And there you go. Don't jump to conclusions. Start checking it and start with the easy stuff first. And the easiest thing to check is this gear, the final drive gear set right there. I'll fix this and it'll be ready to rock and roll here in about 2 minutes. Anyway, y'all have a great day and we'll catch you next time on RC Resto Mod.